What's going on, everybody? It's JT here with another episode of JT Invests in You. And today we have joining us Karen Cohen, the founder of AlgoHub, and Adriana, excuse me, sorry about that, and Adriana Belotti, the host of the Blockchain Pro podcast, to discuss the ongoing Blockathon Dao Hackathon designed with the intention of growing the developer ecosystem. So without further ado, let me just introduce to you Adriana and Karen Cohen. How you doing?
Yeah,
Good
we're good.
morning.
Good
Hello.
morning, good afternoon, and good evening for whoever is watching from wherever they're watching from. I appreciate you both joining me on the show today.
Thanks for
Super
having
excited
us.
to be here.
Of course, of course. So, how about we start with you, Adriana? Could you just give a little bit of background on yourself and how you got involved in the blockchain space?
Oh, how much time do we have? That's a bit of a long story. Okay, so I am originally from Brazil. I live in Australia now in Sydney. I have been in technology for a while now, about 12, 13 years. I used to be a web developer. That's how I started. And I ran into Bitcoin back in 2013. And being from Brazil, a country that has had like a lot of political issues and monetary financial issues, it was a bit interesting for me, the concept of a totally independent currency. And that's what sort of drew me into the rabbit hole. Fast forward nearly 10 years, I now host a podcast called the Blockchain Pro Podcast, where we tell the stories of the people that are working in the space. And I also work as a champion for the Algorand Foundation here in Australia, developing community and, trying to get more people interested in this new, I call it the work evolution, because Web3, I think that's what it's all about.
Of course, and I'll pose the same question to you, Karen.
Thank you. I love working with Adriana. So Adriana's in Sydney and I've just relocated to Gold Coast. So hence the very plain walls behind me. I apologise. So I started about 5 years ago. My background is traditional HR and I started my own freelance agency and got asked to run the blockchain center because my boss at the time had made lots and lots of money on Bitcoin and he was looking to hand over the reins. So I had to learn very quickly what a Bitcoin is, what a blockchain was. We ran educational events and I've stuck around. I love connecting the people side of the blockchain and Web3. So I've been recently also a champion for Algorand Foundation and just started the Algo Hub because what we realized was there's just not enough developers in the space. So that's my job is to bring more in.
Well, that's awesome. So we'll start with, excuse me, still feeling a little bit under the weather. I've been feeling under the weather for the past couple of days, but we're getting over it over here. So tell me a little bit about the Blockathon DAO itself and what are the intentions behind it?
Well, the Blockathon Dao. So the Blockathon has existed since 2017. I think it was run 2017, 18, and 19. And obviously, like a lot of us, its schedule got interrupted by the pandemic. So it started by Daniel Ba from BitForward. And it was very much a way to bring the community together to hack on things. Now we're turning into a DAO because I think the vision is that the future of work probably lies with DAOs. And it's interesting to explore these things as they develop. And the ethos of the Blockathon DAO is to promote the development of public goods and get people interested in this new way of working.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So, how is the Blockathon going so far? I know it started at the beginning of the month and it ends in about 5 days. Is that correct?
Yes. So it started, the warm-up engine, as we call it, it started on the 1st of March. And during this period of 3 weeks leading up to this coming weekend, where we have the actual hack, people have been watching workshops, and Karen will talk a little bit more about our partnership with the hackathon that she's running with Reach and AlgoHub. So we've had different sponsors offering bounties, and with that, we have different learning tracks. And these workshops are online. People join them on Discord and have a chat on the channel. We have mentors, and that has been very active. I think so far we have about 140 people on the Discord channel. And this weekend, we have the actual hack weekend, where if you're in Sydney, you can come to Haymarket HQ and hack together. Otherwise, you have your groups formed on Discord and you hack, virtually. And that starts on Friday evening. Then we hack all Saturday, and then Sunday afternoon we have pitches and judging, and that's it. Then we have a party to welcome the beginning of Blockchain Week the next day.
Now, what are the objectives of the hacking? Like for a complete newbie that doesn't understand what a hackathon is.
So for a complete newbie is you come together with people who have ideas and technical chops. Some of them, you don't have to be a developer to hack, because teams can be formed with people with just, the interest in learning more about development, or interesting to learn more about what is blockchain and how it works, what's a DAO. Like, you can have interest in a variety of areas surrounding the development of applications, and you hack with an idea
You can keep
to
going.
do something. It could be, I want to develop an app that helps DAOs come to life. And you, over the weekend, you talk with your teammates about that idea specifically and how you're going to do that. And if you can code, you can put something together to present at pitch night. If you cannot code, you would maybe do a presentation with slides, or you can do like a simple no-code website that would imitate the functions of the product that you are ideating. And, makes for a really fun and interesting experience, I say.
So it seems like people of all experience levels can really get involved.
Absolutely. That's for everybody.
Awesome. And now, Karen, could you tell me a little bit more about the work you do over at AlgoHub?
Yeah, so as I mentioned before, Algorand Foundation has given out a lot of grants for projects to build on the Algorand blockchain. And people are really enjoying that because it's fast and it's cheap. And it's, so there's two programming languages that work on the Algorand blockchain. One is Reach and one is Pyteal. And so what we found is that there just weren't a lot of developers in the space. So we were thinking about how to solve this problem. And so it comes down to sort of education, scholarships and events to try and get people involved and for them to learn how to program onto this blockchain. So our first event will be the Reach Hackathon, which we are working with the Blockathon as well. And so we're teaching people how to program using Reach, and that will be a 4-week hack throughout April. And we're also partnering with Deakin University here in Australia. So our theme is Reach for a Better Tomorrow. So playing on the word reach, obviously, and also really thinking about what projects can make the world a better place on the blockchain, because this is a time in our life where we really are thinking about that. We've got, here in Australia, we've had massive floods, and we've got stuff going on with Ukraine. We've had COVID. It's really tested our thinking around what's going on with our health records, with our privacy. There's so much to think about, and you do need to be quite technical to be in this hack. It is really a developer's hack, but I am partnering project managers and ideation people together into sort of teams because we need all sorts of people on the blockchain, not just devs, but we do really have a shortage of devs.
Now, I'll pose this to the both of you. What's the biggest difficulty surrounding onboarding new developers? Like, what are the biggest hurdles around that?
Adriana, you want to go first?
I can. I think it's getting them interested in learning something new. Like for experienced developers, they already making the big bucks doing whatever it is that they are doing somewhere else. So how do we get them interested in exploring this new space? And for new developers, it's just a matter of reaching them. So hackathons are a very good way of, plugging into universities or, code clubs and, bringing them in and telling them, hey, come come here, have a look at this new tech. We'll teach you about it, and then you get some prizes. Like it's the new play to learn concept, right?
Yeah, that makes
I love
complete
that.
sense to me.
Yeah. I think from my perspective, it's interesting because I had a good chat to a developer recently, and I was asking him, what's the challenge of going between Web 2 and Web 3, and why is it hard for us to attract more developers into the Web 3 space? So I think it's really an interesting question. Like, I think most devs probably own cryptocurrency. They've kind of grown up with that around them. It's whether or not they sort of want to program in this space. It is considered a little bit harder because your code is out there, right? And it can be expensive if you get it wrong. So it's, we're sort of attracting them to this new world, telling them they're going to make a lot of money. But for devs, they make money anyway, right? Like, so it becomes, what can I do? What can I do with my development skills? How can I make a difference? It becomes an ethical question of where you're going to spend your time. Is it going to be on an Amazon or a Microsoft, or is it going to be, doing something cool here in the Web3 space? And I think there's also a stability thing. Like, this is so new, we're so nascent. And so from a career perspective, is it a risk to sort of take that leap? But I know that when we had the crypto winter, and I was chatting to a lot of my colleagues who had done really well, in the crypto summer in 2017, 18, they were like, I'm back to a boring, normal job, and we love it when it's pumping and we can all work in this space.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the down market kind of seemed to coincide with the winter over here too. So it was a bit of a bearish market and seasonal depression. I think that was hitting a lot of people. So a little off topic, I guess not really though, but I know it's extremely important to the both of you that we onboard more women into the space. How is that going so far, and what could we do as a broader community to ensure that we're creating a space that's more inviting to everyone? I'll start with Adriana. Sorry.
Look, when I first started in 2013, every meetup that I went, I was probably one of 2 or 3 women there. And, that's not a real problem because the guys were all very welcoming. And I think that is what we need. People in the community who are welcoming to everyone, not just, women, but, LGBTQ, or people of color, and all of that. So we have to have this inclusive mindset, because when you think of Web3 and how we transition to the metaverse, we can be anything that we want over there. And we really should take that concept back to our own lives and accept everybody. So since then, like fast forward 9 years, there's a lot more women, obviously. I think it started with a lot more guys because, yes, it's the development. It started with a lot of developers, and tech, has this thing that there's less women in tech. So as the ecosystem grew and we have more lawyers, we have more content managers, we have more marketers, we have more women coming into tech, the percentage of women in blockchain is growing. It's slow, but we're getting there. I think the Algorithm Foundation has partnered with Girls Who Code, Women Who Code, one of the two, and there's going to be, I hope, a lot more girls coming on board and, playing with us over here.
Of course. And as for you, Karen, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, so I mean, when I joined in 2017, only 5% of women globally were Bitcoin buyers. Last year, it was a whopping 15%. So we're still really, really low. And what really annoys me is, like, I see decks from, all these companies looking for investment, and their first 20 people are male. And I have a really big vendetta against all my panels, so manels, I call them. We do women in blockchain, which has been great. Blockchain Australia's got a diversity and inclusion arm as well, at which they're trying to look at sort of some of the issues. But what I love about women in blockchain is that everybody's welcome. No question is too stupid or too dumb or too beginner, or, and we invite males in. And like Adriana said, they are amazing advocates. I know, like, the first person that helped me buy my Bitcoin was male. And now I've got like a circle of women that come to my kitchen and we sit and we learn how to load a wallet, and how to get on an exchange. And it's still 5 years later, it's still really hard. Like, it's not intuitive. One of the girls, I was showing her like how to buy Bitcoin, and we had the daily rate, and she wanted $100 worth, and we had to divide one by the other. And she's like, "What do you mean? I need maths for this. This should be really simple. I should be able to plug in $100 and it comes out." So yeah, it's in terms of like the user interface, I don't think we've improved much in 5 years, and I think that's always going to be a detractor. But I think as women, and with our male allies, is we just need to take somebody by the hand every time, every week, and bring them to a meetup and sign them up and, bring them along. And they get so excited. Like, I've got one friend who just fell down the NFT rabbit hole, and she's like loving it. So yeah, I just think we have, as some of the OGs, and I hate being an OG only after 5 years, no other industry, but we really do need to just continue to advocate and to educate and to encourage and support one another.
Of course, and to be fair, 5 years in this industry feels like an eternity. So you're certainly an OG, in my book at least.
It's
They
dog
say
years.
it's like dog years. We call it dog years.
I like that, actually. I like that. Now, I'll pose this back to you, Karen. What would you say to someone that doesn't have any experience in the space but would like to build something? Like, where should they start?
Fabulous question. I would say that YouTube is your best friend. Like, you just go down that YouTube rabbit hole. There's so much out there. We sort of really want to position that if you want to be a blockchain developer, we'd love you to learn Reach, and we'd love you to be on the Algorand platform as somewhere to start. And there's heaps of great stuff on the Discord and GitHub, etc. So yeah, I think and asking, like, get a mentor. I know when I started, I paid someone just to be my mentor, and once a week I'd ask them, what does this mean? What does that mean? So, just people are so friendly and they're so supportive, and there's definitely mentors out there to help you to learn.
Now, I do have one question about Reach. Do you need to know anything about coding to learn Reach, or could you start there? If you know nothing about coding, could you start with Reach?
Look, I think you need probably about a year of JavaScript, and then you're right to go. So a lot of the uni students have that anyway, so they're pretty good to go. And then, we sort of look at that Web 2 to Web 3 stream and what do you need from there. But yeah, if you were totally never programmed before, I'd probably encourage you to sort of get a year of programming under your belt and then hop on.
Awesome. Thank you. And how about you, Adriana? What would you say to somebody that doesn't have any experience but is looking to start building in the space?
Come to a meetup. So many meetups all over the world. So based on what Karen just said, go to a JavaScript meetup if you don't have any experience and start learning that, and then come to explore Reach, or there are other blockchains you can explore a variety of different languages. I personally believe that the good blockchain devs of the future will understand the different programming languages of the different blockchains, so they can have that big picture and how to make interoperable dApps. So I think it starts by talking to people they're already doing what you want to do, and that probably will set you off in a good way.
Of course, and the good thing about Reach, at least, is it's blockchain agnostic. So at least you could already deploy to a couple blockchains if you did start to learn Reach. Now, I'd like to give both of you the time to just let my audience know more about your project, because I know we didn't dive too deep into each of your projects, the hackathons that you're both a part of. So if you'd like to take the time to just let my audience know anything that we haven't covered yet, we'll start with you, Adriana.
So Blockathon is still, it's live. We are hacking this weekend, so if you want to join, blockathon.xyz is the website. Sign up, join the Discord. Team informations are still happening, so there is time to come and join. There are different tracks sponsored, obviously, and Algorand has a track. We have, I think, up to 5,000 algos in prizes, and to qualify for that track specifically of any other, you just have to build with that technology, and you will also obviously be running for the big hackathon prizes, which haven't been announced yet. But with the Algorand track, if you build using Reach, you can use your project to work on Karen's hackathon as well, the Reach Hackathon. So if you do a Reach for Good app at the Blockathon, you can also use the same like path for the Reach Hackathon, which is like you're doubling down on the prizes, but you're just doing one, set of work, which is nice.
That's awesome. And how about you, Karen?
Yeah, so we're actually kicking off after Adriana's, so we've got time for people to think about and form teams. We kick off on the 29th of March, the week after Blockchain Week. So if anyone wants to go to Adriana's in Sydney or online, and then there's Blockchain Week next week, which is going to be really exciting. It's multi-city. You can go online and watch a lot of the sessions. I think that the tickets are very limited, but you can list on waitlist. So that's blockchainweek.com.au. And then in terms of hours, so we'll kick off on the week of the 29th. There'll be 5 weeks with a mentor. Teams will have a weekly check-in. They'll get a prize for actually completing each weekly check-in, so a bounty. They'll earn algos. And we all know that you can actually stake algos and continue to earn on those as well, which is great. So it's, you learn to earn, as Adriana said, and then you can actually invest to earn as well, which I love about Algorand. And then there'll be a demo day. We're actually working with Deakin University, who are doing a NFT for Good project, and are actually also running a free blockchain course as well. So if you want any information, just pop on to algo-hub.io or drop me an email, karen@algo-hub.io, and I can give you all the information for Deakin as well. So yeah, it's really fun also to combine with the unis and to really think about what can we do with this hackathon to make the world a better place.
Now, is the Reach Hackathon both in person and online, or just one or the other?
It's all online.
It's all online. And is there a specific amount of people that could join, or is it relatively unlimited?
It's unlimited. The teams can go from 1 to 4 people in a team, and I can help match people as well if they just want to get involved and they're not sure. Even if you're not really technical, I can pop you into a team and you can learn along the way.
Awesome. So if anyone listening is interested, make sure you follow any of those addresses that she just laid out, both Karen and Adriana, and get involved because it's a great time to start building. I know everyone's mostly excited during bull markets, but bear markets are really the best time to start building. And, there's a lot of great avenues in Algorand to start doing that. So if you're interested, certainly hit one of these 2 wonderful women up and see what you can do, of course. Now, is there anything that we haven't discussed today that you'd like to bring to the attention of my audience before we depart? I'll leave that up to you, Adriana. Sorry. When I have 2 people, it is difficult to figure out who I posed a question to.
I think we've covered pretty much everything. So go to meetups, listen to the Blockchain Pro podcast. I think I'm up to episode 55. I've been talking to a lot of people about their journeys.
I saw that you were, sorry to interrupt, I saw that you were going to interview Sylvia McCallie. Is that true?
Oh, that's part of Blockchain Week. Yes. It's not for the podcast per se, although maybe I can get that video and post, but that's a different story. So yeah, I'm talking to Sylvia next week at Blockchain Week. It's on Tuesday at 11 a.m. Australia time. I think that's 7 p.m. your time, JT. We only have 25 minutes, so I'm just gonna ask him some questions about what's been happening with Algorand, and one audience question that I got from Twitter. Thank you for the person who sent that through. I don't remember your handle right now, but it's gonna be there. What else? On Blockchain Week, we're also gonna have Daniel the new head of DeFi for Algorand Foundation, at a panel about the future of work and DAOs and NFTs on Tuesday afternoon. So if you really want to catch those, you can watch it from anywhere. As Karen said, just go to the blockchainweek.com.au website and sign up for the virtual stream. And on Friday, there's going to be a startup scale-up day, and some of the Algorand projects building here in Australia are going to be there and talking about what they're building as well. So plenty of opportunities to see Algo happen during Blockchain Week.
That's wonderful.
I'm sorry, I've got block envy that you're getting to interview Sylvia.
Well, I
I do
met
too.
you back in 2019 when he was first here. I think you did too, Karen.
I saw him, yeah, yeah.
I got to spend quite a bit of time with him and Steve here in Sydney. We did 3 events, 4 if you include like our private catch up. So it was actually what got me into Algorand at the time, because I had so much time to sit with Silvio and ask all the questions about. At the time, I already had been in the space for 6 years. I had a very good understanding of Bitcoin and how it works. So making the comparisons, and like my brain wheels were turning and turning and turning, and like, yeah, that's what it got me into Algorand, and that's why I'm such a huge fan.
I've reached out
Fantastic.
once to no avail to try to get him on the show. Maybe in due time that'll come. But how about you, Karen? Is there anything you'd like my audience to know before we depart?
I think in Blockchain Week, we've got a Wednesday will be an NFT day at Marvel Stadium, so there should be lots of tickets if you hop on. And Friday will be in Brisbane, so that'll be my new town. So if there's some tickets, hop on to the website and drop on by and say hello. And really appreciate you having us on the show, JT.
Of course, I appreciate both of you for coming on the show, and I really appreciate all the work you do to grow the ecosystem. It's really great, and I know almost everybody I do speak to, whether it's founders or developers, one of the biggest things they do say is we need to grow the developer space. So it is really great the work that you're doing, and I do appreciate it.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, JT. We appreciate you as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that, and thank you for coming on the show.
Our pleasure.
Good luck with the hackathons. Take care.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
JT.
Bye bye.